frequent platform. TTPTB. Oh yeah. Unale we pledge with love and loyalty to we sweet mama salute. Now we all come together as well for tomorrow. Now we go make salute.
As the Anti-Corruption Commissioner, have you been approached to be compromised or corrupted in the matter you are investigating?
When they talk about the ills of the country for years, 5 years to election, I know them. President Bio at the time, Nabi Mumu.
All right, family, hello and welcome to AYV Radio 101.7 FM, AYV Television, Channel 33, and online on www.ayvnews.com or all AYV social media platforms out there. This is a program, The Hot Seat. Me and Mama Jalo Suli DJ Base. And as I say sometimes, we talk about human interest issues, all issues, as long as you give those development. So today, to God be the glory, and I've been on the wait forgets we brother, and one of the big personalities in this country, and for years now, over 3 years, and God don't make it able to. So we done there. We brought our boss go to this. Say hi to viewers and listeners out there, boss.
Hello, viewers. Mina Francis Ben Kaifalah, the Commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Okay, nice having you after a lot of struggle and prayer. So God be the glory.
But,
okay,
we are here now.
Thank you.
Let's
God
talk
bless.
it all.
Thank you. So just take we back inside the fight of the corruption fight since you come into power. What's in your work? Let people get your understanding about.
Well, my work really, the law, Section 7 of the Anti-Corruption Act say, now me, for work with my team, for primarily coordinate the effort against corruption inside the country.
Okay.
And one of the work they do, prevention work.
Okay.
For make sure that people do not do corruption. So they review systems them, basically for make sure that corruption not happen.
All right.
The other work we can do now investigation where corruption don't happen, what you do about them.
Okay.
For hold people them accountable, ask them questions. And the other thing we can do, don't finance the evidence they will support, we can send them to court.
Okay.
Or if we not send them to court, we recover the money and we take administrative action.
All right.
And another work they do now for educate the public.
Okay.
In fact, one of the reasons that they were there, so for educate the public, for understand the ills and evils of corruption, and for recruit them for continue for support in the fight against corruption.
Okay. So for the layman point of view, we're going to watch you. What's in a corruption?
Corruption, now where you use your office for confer advantage, for put advantage by yourself, for put benefit by yourself or some other person when not proper.
All right.
Okay, so corruption really now what you do improper thing for give somebody advantage what you're not supposed to get.
Okay.
Now, in a corruption. And not only the way they take money or them things and they it could be you put somebody in a one office where you're not supposed to put them. It could be say you not follow a particular process where you're supposed to follow. It could be say you take government money or money where they give you for give other person. It could also be say you abuse your office and position. You're supposed to do things that way, but because you're a big man, you not follow processes, you just want cut corners and do things. So now that then a corruption. It's difficult for define, but basically then we then the for describe and for make people able to visualize.
You get certain class of people and way they look government people or parastatals, MDs, or not just maybe politicians or government.
Yeah, we broad mandate cover people them in public service.
Okay.
People that way they work for government.
All right.
But certain offense then they will also cover people that way they in private service. For example, bribery. If you bribe a public officer, you commit an offense.
Okay.
Similarly, the officer will receive the money, commit an offense.
Okay.
Misappropriation can be done by people that will not work in the government, like them bankers. Some money they will do for to government or they for pay to NRA, there you go pull and use them for yourself, even though you know they work in the government or you don't misappropriate government property. Right. So it cover all them things.
Okay, since you take up this job, how free you're able to do this job?
Absolutely.
Interference politically or
no.
Party them go meet you and say, "But this man, a real man, now come up." You know?
Yes, I know. Then thing they are Sierra Leone a very small society. Almost all man know everybody. I mean, a typically homebred person.
Exactly.
I go to school now, I go to university now, I get people everywhere. But at the end of the day, it's about your own ability for do you work independently. The one who you worry about most now way like the government not give you chance for do you work like the president not allow you for being now you worry about.
Okay.
But in this case, we get a President Bio, we really believe in the fight against corruption.
Okay.
And don't give you a free hand for do your job and you not interfere at all.
So since you take up, you get a free hand for do your job.
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay. So since you take up again, the other question like I mentioned earlier on, like you also say we use with yourself, with the mingle. People can ask you, say, Ben, I mean, why? I mean, this person a young man, or why?
Oh yes, that they happen many times. Hey, but this now we young person. Oh, now we all don't suffer at the party, or now we all come on a particular part of the country.
Yeah.
Or you know, this person here related to your family. It's a normal thing, but. Would I know me from the days when I be school? I don't hold leadership position from school. They stay to university. They go. They are rich now. They know students. They know they work with me.
Okay.
In my world, I judge two people. They want two things: the personal merit and the content of your character.
Okay.
So if you related with me, first of all, now you supposed to make sure say you not do anything we go make a need for take action against you.
Okay.
But if I have to take action and they can't begin a bigger, now we all belong to party, or now we all come here, or now no, I don't care about those things.
When you take up the job, you think about the money within they pay you and the fight take into consideration the kind of money we go collect from different places.
Give me a bit of context.
Well, maybe you take up the job, let's say maybe then they pay you 100 million. Then you fight cases they'll get for those billions.
Billions. Like today, so don't go give how much 8.1 billion to the country. I mean, you see, all anything they come with content mind. Okay, like you always tell people, say for work na government a sacrifice. Okay. When me be a private lawyer, I was earning way more. I became a law firm. I get cases that coming from all over the world. Clients in one transaction, I was capable of making $100,000. There's no way I get that as a CC commissioner. But then I sacrifice. Now, Mrs. F take decision and say I am capable of doing this. I was offered and I accepted.
Okay.
And now I have been in this position for 5 years. So no matter how much they pay me, I just want to do the job and to the satisfaction of the people of Sierra Leone and to my own conscience.
When you take up the job, which case now, the first case where you take up?
The first case where I handle will be the case involving Victor Fo and others, where my predecessor be done investigate and he be done charge, but he left as a sealed indictment.
Okay.
I be get for unseal him and just make sure say gonna. Now the first case I deal with. But you remember say I come in as commissioner at the time when there was a political transition from one government to another, and there were many issues. Cases involving NRA, Hajakala, and others. If you remember, those were cases that we dealt with earlier on. And we get cases then. The Commission of Inquiry was there. It was just too many. I can't name many particular one by one. But
all right, maybe Commission of Inquiry looks like when I be one big case where you ever do it, maybe I would say mostly politicians. I mean, how in that case because no say the COI being do it in them for do.
Yeah, you know, say the COI really was given to 3 judges. They wouldn't carry it for looking to and decide, and they gave their decision and were not happy with them. You appeal to the Court of Appeal. Some of them have appealed, some of them successfully, many of them unsuccessfully. And some of the matters them, they don't recover the houses, then they do enforcement. Some don't come back to it for investigation. So
far, what are the progress of that case? How many people are non-pay and how many left still?
In the COI matters?
Yeah.
But the COI matters really, the payments and recoveries and all the enforcement that they in the hands of the Office of the Attorney General.
Okay.
Meaning just provide backup support from them. So maybe they will be able, they're going in at the best position for answer that question. But I just know say people that don't pay back and they don't recover some houses where they don't try for give back to the state. And then of course a certain one they're still there under appeal in a court. And there's someday where they don't refer back to the ACC for investigation or they investigate.
Okay. What's in the guilty cause where they sometimes say people can pay back, some man not they pay, some man they're going to prison. How do they do that?
It depends on many factors. When a case comes to the court, we can look at a case because we'll be doing an amendment in 2019 where we give you the power for decide whether for going to court and for recover.
Yeah.
So we can look at the case, we look at the case portfolio we're going to court, how many volume cases we're going to court, and decide whether this case for going to court or let we recover and we apply certain other administrative sanctions and other things like that. So basically that's what we have been doing. In certain cases, then a lot of people then can say, oh, Ben, no, they lock people then up. I don't have powers to lock people up. And the judiciary, they try somebody, find them guilty, and decide for impose a custodial sentence. The challenge you will get is the judiciary has refused to impose custodial sentence.
Why?
No matter how we appeal to them. No matter how, because the alternative is provided by law.
Okay.
It's either prison or fine.
Okay.
And the judiciary has this proclivity to rather find the person than to order than they be.
You know, can make
locked up.
recommendation.
And we don't make all kind of recommendation. I don't write letters. I don't get arguments with judges. But I've made them to understand that look, if we have to defeat corruption in Sierra Leone, we have to make corruption a high risk and low return venture, which means in simple words, we have to make corruption expensive. And the most way for make corruption expensive, now for lock people there. Whether man member say get for day away from a family, or that woman member say get for day away from a family for 3, 4, 5 years, the disgrace and shame that go with them. Trust me, like this country I don't straight. But the judiciary just not get book limited at all for other custodians.
Is that they're not looking into some of your recommendations that we can bring or what?
Well, you see, the judiciary is a respectable body, not independent arm of government.
Okay.
Nobody not dictate to them. Not even the president will dictate to them how to do their work. We will only canvass them. We will only explain to them. We will only convince to them, say, there is a reason why the law provided that there should be custodial sentence. But DJ Base, ask yourself, a country like this would only affect corruption from 2001 to today. How many people they don't go to jail after a judgment for corruption? And the public, if you say, is about the ACC. The ACC can do its best to prosecute. And we are getting a lot of judgments. Okay? But if the courts are not sending them to imprisonment, they are out there. We don't see people there where they fine. Then they go to court, then they come with the money already inside box, sit down near them. As they pass the sentence to them, they pay, and they take their shoulders high and dance with them along the streets of Jakastili streets in victory. We have to change that. And trust me, the judiciary, they do very well in trying our cases, and they get the judgments. But when it now comes to that final killer, impose custodial sentence, trust me, they don't get a heart for the one.
Why?
I don't know.
You ever ask them why they, impose them custodial sentence?
I don't ask them.
The
explanation, well, we are just trying to balance things. What are you balancing? Just do your job, man.
Okay.
Just
So
do your job.
you think the judiciary, they help people do the job, or then they do their own part?
Well, the judiciary, they do their own job according to how they feel. Like I don't tell you, an independent body. The only thing is, why would they get in conversations there in a country? We all get for low say, we did in what we call in economics the multi-person prisoner's dilemma, where my actions are contingent to your actions. Okay? If we are going to reach to an optimal or for reach an equilibrium, the actions them get for they move in the same direction.
Together.
So the ACC investigates and charges to court and prosecutes, and there's a conviction. The judge sentences and imposes a custodial sentence. The prison officers, they detain the person and keep under prison until he serves in sentence time. At the end of the day, they come out into society and the society rehabilitates them. These are 4 tranches of actions that are dependent on each other. Okay?
Okay.
But no one person has control over what the other person can do. So in this multi-person prisoner's dilemma, it's only when we all act in the same direction that the optimal can come for the country. It's not the optimal for the country. We make corruption expensive. They want to wait 8.1 billion euros will go show to the public today. If there is certainty that we will charge them to court that they will go to prison, if you say other person will easily do that?
No.
No.
So, in a fight, you believe in that kill dog before dog no say die day?
I don't only believe na me your mantra that one day. I believe say one of the reasons why Salon don't they how it is all this while is because we don't baby ourselves too much.
Okay.
We hear all this they take it easy. Oh, left arm, people that can make mistake and they will be everywhere. Most times people that they come at my office then they cry tears, they come down. No, sir. Let we build a society where every man the answer for his actions.
Exactly.
That sorry, sir. In fact, sometimes when somebody tells me, say, I'm sorry, sir, they at me.
Okay.
Because you knew what you were doing when you did it. Why they can't tell me a big sir? You have all these people, you take one driver, you put her inside your motor car for do something, you left money inside your pocket, it's fam. Why if I tell you I'm sorry, sir, you're sorry for him? You understand? I make my office, for example, in ICC, when people make mistakes, I get one recently, we do some kind audio where they talk, say, go pass information to somebody. The audio came into my hands. I call everybody, put them in a meeting. I make them put speaker, play the audio for them. After the audio not finished, if you don't need the big. No, sir, I'm not listening to that beg. When I go dismiss the man, let go home.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
Let go sit down with the family. They let them wake up in the morning and look at themselves.
All right.
So basically, We have to be ready to take ourselves seriously. And the only way we will take ourselves seriously, now for take action. If somebody do something, like they were waiting this money, and the American now talks 50, nobody know they get bail. All man call me in this country, all kind of people they call me because they get families, they get friends, some of them, I don't know them for years, they are not going out. You know why that money they come out? Because for 15 days, there was no bail.
Wow.
Now the money come also today would all return to the state. This is the country where they're afraid. But the reason why some of them, they get away with a lot of things, now this Abexa syndrome. Let we leave this Abexa syndrome.
All right.
Let everybody take responsibility for in actions. If you do harm so much that you're able to say Abexa, let you face the consequences.
Okay.
If you do that, we can always go back now and review because sometimes you get to be compassionate, but you cannot be compassionate at the mercy of doing your duty.
Okay. All right. I believe saying a man where you can move in a different place, a grassroots man. And before now, don't there a lot of people and say, well, Ben will be get respect from and take to the same way you been bring them teachers them out on the streets. Where I mean that was like go viral and like someone would be really glad and think maybe those steps should be taken. In other words, not part of kill dog before die. In other words, we see people shameless, they come and all that stuff. They all of a sudden we see, well, maybe President Kain say, oh, don't need to say, what's really happened?
Yeah, because you know what happened, DJ Biz.
You tell
So
me.
probably you explain what happened.
I mean, I know.
Hello, well, yes, you know. I was vilified. This country came after me.
Okay.
You sabi the story of Jesus Christ and Barabbas in the Bible, where the crowd said, give us Barabbas, a thief, and go away with this man. I was treated like that in this country.
You feel
In the eyes of all of you.
You feel disappointed?
In the eyes of all of you.
Yeah, of course.
My head was called for. They said that in fact they made posters and shared them that I should be dismissed from the ACC. The teachers put out a press release that they will not teach. They gave an ultimatum to the president that if he does not remove me from the ACC, and I apologize to them for that action, they will not teach again. And the free quality education was in jeopardy.
Exactly.
As a listening president who understood that there are bigger things to worry about, he spoke to me and said, Ben, don't worry. Let me just apologize to them and let's move on.
Okay.
And he apologized as father of the nation, which was very good. I thank him for it. But after I was treated like Barabbas for trying to send a message to this country that we have to take corruption very seriously. We have to take action, strong action against the corrupt. I was humiliated.
You feel disappointed?
I cried in my office for 2 hours.
Why?
Because I felt rejected. Nobody was looking at the intention behind what I did.
And now it's worse.
And I was insulted. I saw my own friends. Some of them, it has taken 3-4 years, they've never posted on Facebook. They were posting every hour to insult me. I sat down and watched WhatsApp groups where I was with people. They spent hours analyzing how wrong I was.
You're right.
I had people go on radio, do analysis. Even when we were pointing to them the evidence, they were here, they saw the evidence of that raid. Teachers sleeping with girls, taking them to special rooms, principals providing their rooms for them to take WAS exams and go to university. They saw the videos of people hiding in freezers and all those things. I was treated like Barabbas.
All right.
And now, when we arrest the corrupt, the same people who spend weeks making analysis on Facebook are the ones who are saying, why is Ben not taking these people to the cutting tree? I mean, how can Ben take people to the cutting tree? You said you do not want it and we listened to you and we said it is no longer part of the process. That's why we are not doing it.
So for how much you think, say, when I don't give to government, when I don't collect cash?
Oh, it's about 65 billion euros.
Okay.
All euros. 65
What about properties?
Properties, a number of houses have been returned to the country. Could be close to 15 houses. Cars, maybe about 6 or 7. It's different. We can do recoveries in many ways. Sometimes we can just recover and give back to the person directly.
Okay.
Sometimes we can give to the government. Sometimes we can just take them and say that person, they will get a car, take your property and go. So it's really the one way we can more focus on are the cash. But then half of things and they will do like houses, cars, properties, and things like that. We don't really take them much into consideration.
Okay. So recently, we don't see a lot of issues don't come up. Which cases in the anti-corruption they look as a high-profile case or maybe low-profile case? So I get a category of cases.
Yeah, corruption and get grand corruption and petty corruption. Petty corruption are they half of corruption. Policeman take bribe along the road for left the traffic police to go. A teacher where they ask the student and for give money na school 2,000 euros, 5,000 euros, 3,000 euros.
Yeah.
That man we sit down at that office and that domot way boss they go, hey, pa, wait till they left for me now, sir. Bribe your body, all those things. He's a public officer, he's paid for his work.
Okay.
Why is he asking people for money at that gate?
Yeah, right.
For simply opening the gate and locking it? Is that what you applied for? You were appointed a gate man. Just be a gate man, man. Don't be harassing people everywhere. But it's so widespread that if we say we are going to arrest all those people, investigate them, and lock them up, we will not be able to do our job. So we can try to address them through public education, through prevention measures, and sometimes we can do 1 or 2 arrests and detentions just for send message and sometimes prosecute. But the grand corruption, when the more you refer to as high-profile corruption, and then corruption there we're so large in volume, and we're capable to affect the substratum of the country.
Yeah.
We're able to paralyze the country from governance. Somebody was supposed to buy drugs worth 1 billion for supply to hospitals, take the money and eat them. Somebody where they work in one ministry, we're supposed to make sure say agriculture happen and one chiefdom, take the money and eat them. But those are grand corruption, or you take bribe before you sign documents, or procurement issues them for key contracts, you take money or them. So those are all kickbacks and all those things. They are in that grand corruption. All of them are serious, but some of them ought to be treated more seriously because of the sheer volume that involves them and the likelihood of how they were able to destroy the fabric of the nation.
So presently, which one down the way get that category we will talk about?
I don't know about who DJ Base.
Can you name few?
For one normal, you ask me on anyone who you know of.
Well,
But, for example, we get a National Revenue Authority.
Yes.
We recently, through EcoBank, then divert almost 45 billion euros among themselves and share.
When people
We get this one, we just don't do. We involve the Sierra Leone Roads Authority,
SLRA,
where we recover this 8.1 billion euros.
Yeah.
Okay. When at the Ministry of Finance, we find to we for say we investigate this. We get other ones them where really we get a case involving the clerk of parliament. Those are all grand corruption because grand corruption is not just the volume, like I say, how well able to shake the foundations of the country.
Okay.
So like the case involving the clerk of parliament, with all due respect and purposes, it cannot be compared to a case where somebody thief 1.5 billion euros. But the magnitude of the fact saying that this kind of big man, he go take a wife and bring a can of parliament, the country is really shocked about it.
Yeah.
I've never seen, probably after the 43 saga, there has never been an interest in we work on this kind of volume as it was when this issue happened involving Honorable Parantrali and his wife.
Yeah.
And to we really, it's not those really, not to that kind of corruption and the way you go say it very high. It's administrative, it's serious, a conflict of interest, but you cannot compare it to somebody who stole 8.1 billion euros. But the public is more enraged about it. So it qualifies for being categorized as grand corruption.
Okay.
So we get all the way, the Honorable Jaya Kaikai, for example, we say you get one G-Wagon, there's the vehicles that still there with we investigate, we don't give them time, say like produce this Lebanese man, we give the motorcar, up to now the Lebanese man not come yet. But we give enough time because we know how act against somebody, like say we are being unfair. If you see that Lebanese man give you the motorcar, all that we need for doing that, and for me the Lebanese man contact to we and explain to we the circumstances where give you the car. And by the way, an offense of unexplained wealth, not to we for need for do anything. Now you supposed to explain how you get the wealth.
Yeah.
So the motorcar is still there with we, and we're not able to get the Lebanese man yet. So now they all. So basically,
what about the kids who gave it to former President Koma? When I don't get the money, then they
no.
Why?
They're not paid.
Why? We're not been getting timeline for that?
You know, in a commission of inquiry, that money they come on.
Yeah.
And I don't tell you, say, commission of inquiry, and the Attorney General's department get a responsibility for recover that money, not we.
Okay.
So it's not really within the ACC domain. Because that corruption issue, a lot of people, commission of inquiry, ACC, no. Then particular one, then they, now, Attorney General's department and get responsibility for them. So if they not pay back it, when I ask Attorney General and in department, then go explain.
Okay. Okay. You mentioned also about Paran in issue, and before now, when I've been pulling a release way, when I've been say 10 months, and now I see when I say about 19 months.
Yes, you see, now I make most times where investigations decide the public wants information.
Yeah.
And we can slow sometimes forget our information because forget information on things there, yeah? My brother, sometimes it's not easy. So we go to parliament say you only work for 10 months. Now the preliminary investigations, information that we got. Oh, they pressure from the public. We say it's not 10 months. Remember, even when we come out later, we say now 17 months. But by the time we get all the information, including the notices all sent to our accountant generals for sending vouchers, for sending payroll and everything, and the time now we get a full picture. And that takes weeks to do. So sometimes it can be difficult for we. We don't want to say anything because we know say this is preliminary, but the public wants information. Because again, if you don't get the information, they say, you don't want to do nothing. You don't want to do nothing. Look up. Not because not clerk of parliament. But the true picture which we now have is a period of 19 months where Mrs. Abibatu Paran thoroughly worked, was on payroll, not really worked because the evidence was that she didn't really work.
Okay.
And she was paid a salary of about 7.6 million euros a month. And that 7.6 million euros a month, for that period, the calculation came roughly to about 151 million euros, and Honorable Paran thoroughly don't pay that full amount to the ACC.
Una check usai pull money there for paying quick?
No, we not check.
Why?
Because we don't really get interest in usai pull the money. We want the money. But also, we expect say, go dig hole for cover hole. If not, we'll come back for you for that. So we are expecting that now you money or you go lend from family members.
So check usai people pull the money for payback?
No, no check.
Why?
Because it does not matter. We want the money.
All right, okay. That's good. Now we'll take a look and watch this video. Quick fumble video, the ACC boss. Kaifalah will talk a lot about corruption issues. Let's watch this video. We'll come back. Stay tuned.
Retired Brigadier Dr. Julius Mada Bio, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Let's sit down, please. As you can notice, this is not my normal voice. Hazards of the occupation, occupational hazards. I had to be threatened to come here. This building has been completed for some time, but I've not had chance, and he said, you have to be here to commission it. But I've been busy trying to canvass your votes. If I've not come to you, please let this serve as my coming to you. I need your votes. Madam Chair, the Honorable Chief Justice, and other justices present here today, ministers of government, members of parliament, members of the diplomatic and consular corps, the board of the Anti-Corruption Commission, the commissioner, our great friend and fighter, the deputy commissioner, the strong man, and the great staff of the Anti-Corruption Commission. Are you here? You are our warriors. Thank you for committing to this fight. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure for me to join you here this morning to celebrate the successes of a commission that has contributed immensely to the rule of law and the governance of the state since 2018. Corruption, I've always said, is an existential threat to the image, integrity, and wholesomeness of the state. It undermines not only the public service delivery, public trust, but also national cohesion. And as you all know, these are critical components for nation building and development. We must therefore prevent and curb the flagrant abuse of public office for personal gains and fight corruption in the private sector too. This is why I have not wavered in my support and commitment to resolutely fight against corruption. At this juncture, let me thank and congratulate the Commissioner, Francis Ben Kaifalah, the Deputy Commissioner, Augustine Ruby, the board, and dedicated team that has demonstrated assiduous commitment and dedication to achieving the objectives I set in my new direction manifesto. I've reiterated variously in my public pronouncements since I was elected president. And let me say again, that the fight against corruption is a fight we must fight, and it is a fight we must win. Today, we celebrate several aspects of our successes. This is a collective effort. The Commission is quite small as a team, but it is a collective effort.
All right, welcome back, and we so sorry the President commend you for your work. But again,
Something come up where we see, like you mentioned again, parental in case now one of the issues and we prop up more than any other case, maybe because of the name, the position, or whatever. And we see social media also then say you don't get to talk with the president. We also see a video with them, and we get some party with some members of MPs or the president outside and say, we are reading the chant, say we want to clack back, and also you read and say you don't talk with the president. What's not the updates of that case with in relating to the president or the discussion?
Well, like I always say, certain things that they were there within the domain of the president, and I don't get no plan and responsibility for usurper for the president.
Like in this case?
Like, for example, in this case, the appointment, suspension, or disciplinary action against Honorable Paran before we charge him to court is not within the powers of the ACC. Okay? Section 34 of the ACC Act clearly states that only when we charge somebody to court, now with the right and say, let that person then step aside, but we'll not charge it. Therefore, where this public always don't they say, Ben Kaifalah, they be selective, parental is still in the office. I have clarified that you are being unfair to us. That is not our true job.
Okay.
But I know President Bio is a man who is really committed to the fight against corruption. I know the conversations they all don't get in private. I know where issues of corruption can come. The ones that work can get the opportunity for consult with him. I know how he feels about this thing.
Okay.
He's father of the nation. So obviously in your work, difficult past even me own. Because there are many things he has to balance. But when this thing happen, where the public don't talk, where I come so I get a meeting with him and we get a conversation. And clearly, I know saying a man of action, and he tell me, say yes, just like how he promised in that very video where they talk, say, instead of personally look into the issue and take action, he confirmed to me that he was going to look into it. So I cannot tell you what he's going to do, but I know that he's going to do something.
Okay, now again, some cases and the way you're not able to deal with, in your own domain, according to what you say, like this one where you gave a do to Paran?
No. I'm not saying I'm not able to deal with, not dealing with domain.
Okay.
We operate within law. And that law say not only when we charge somebody to court, now we can say, let's step aside. So for example, Aisha Johansson, when I become commissioner back in 2018, she had been charged to court for almost a year. And that provision in the act was not complied with. I look into him, I say, no, Aisha Johansson, you have to go. The law says, if the law says when they charge you to court, you can't remain in office. So then they use that case that they juxtapose with the case of Paran. It's not the same.
Okay.
She was already charged to court, and the law had to be enforced, and I made sure it was.
So in this case of Paran,
but in Paran, we have not yet charged him because we just do this investigation now.
Okay. So how long will we do this investigation to do a charge?
It may take a month at least.
Okay.
It may take a month at
All right.
least.
So, like how in Web involves in Nodia, when I go call them in
You
camp.
have there.
Okay.
You have there on bail and ACC.
So before now, we not be the work, you not been in the country or what? How them in the pair we not been there?
Every day, sometimes you know, be in the country. Every day travel, but
Okay.
every day substantially in the country.
All right. So you say it will take a month for Lona to charge that
It
case?
will take about a month, yes.
Okay. Maybe going back a little bit, you mentioned about Aisha Johansson and case, and then maybe so many other cases that don't come up with. I mean, a lot of people they look say, I mean, why on the, for example, like what you go say about, like you mentioned about selective justice, so people go say they look the opposition, they charge them or arrest them more than maybe people in the.
It's not true. The last time we call all political parties, journalists together to a press conference.
The right saga and one issue where people can raise a lot of
yes,
times.
the right saga indeed issues then come out where we make say we do what we call a strategic retreat. But the strategic retreat was not because it was selective.
Okay.
It's because the Attorney General then took an action which shocked us. She refused to sign a document that will allow the matter to be tried by judge alone, and we do not want corruption cases to be tried by a jury.
Okay.
And we did not want to set a precedent. It's like a forester taking care of a tree and one of them is infected by a disease. What do? You cut it down so that it does not become a contagion and affect the other trees.
Mm-hmm.
But does that mean it was selective? No. We took it back and now we decided to take other administrative actions in respect of that file.
All
and
right.
that is already in motion.
Okay. Another issue again, give it well, again, a lot of people ask you down there. Mr. Go ask you down there, the SLBC issue with, I mean, Joseph Kapua. What you would say about that?
So SLBC is a very interesting case. Allegations were made against Kapua that he and the team embezzled a lot of money. We went in, just like how they say, nobody know the way they're above the law.
Yeah.
We investigate every issue of corruption when it comes to our attention. We investigated the Kapua issue, and we found out that indeed there were serious concerns with the administrative setup of the place.
Okay.
Okay? So because, for example, like election, they can give them 2 billion for buy cameras, for revamp the place.
Mm-hmm.
They actually bought the cameras, but they did not follow certain processes that leading to the buying of the camera because of administrative ineptitude.
Okay.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what we do now, for first of all, get back to the Minister of Information and say, okay, we don't look at them. It's not the kind of corruption that they are saying, like somebody take money, thief, and now go bills, go to no. It's more failures of administrative responsibility, which we believe can be solved by a change of leadership. And we recommended a change of leadership, and the president has listened. That is why Joseph Kapua has been removed from SLBC.
So now go back and look how then procurement and they all happen and deep into it.
Oh yes, we do that now. But we want another person for day in leadership. Why is that now they happen? We do what we call systems and processes review for make policy recommendations. Then to waiting there for put in place or make sure say they can't there.
In other words, then step aside while they do the investigation.
Well, let another leadership while they complete the.
Why not in the case of parental rally?
I don't tell you. Say the president said they take action in the case of parental rally. What more do you want me to say?
All right. So is it that the president
Joseph Kapua, I'm not a pull. I'm not the president pull.
So is it when I'm looking at advice and say, Paulo, investigate man before you get another position?
You see, DJ Base. Oh yeah, listen. The presidency is a very powerful office. Okay.
Okay.
And I've told you, it is currently occupied by a man I have enormous respect for. Not just because he's president, but I have enormous respect for his intellect and his administrative ability.
Okay.
Okay. It might not be as easy as you see it when you are sitting down on the outside. You think it's just easy to take people out, do under a new post in Canada and things like that. He's in a very difficult position. For me, Ben Kaifalah, believe in this man.
Okay.
And I know he will take action.
You nothing said the Ambogi war.
So sometimes I don't need for I forgot our president, you get for policeman, come on our office, bring other person. No, it means I am trying to dictate to a president of a nation what to do. I am trying to usurp his role.
Okay.
And I've always said in interviews and where they go. And most times that is what the public wants me to do. That is what journalists want me to say. But listen, at the end of the day, this man was voted for by 100% of the population of Sierra Leone. Whether you voted against him, it is your problem. When you voted against him, you were voting for him as long as he won. You understand?
Yeah.
He is the one, he is the CEO of Sierra Leone. The anti-corruption commissioner can play his part, but I don't have to dictate to him every step of the way what to do. He's a very reasonable man. He's a great intellectual and a fantastic administrator. Let's allow him to run the country.
Okay. Now, with the CACs to talk about, declaring assets. Ona gets, a number of people and we don't declare the assets, and the one that will not declare assets, we think will happen today.
You know what happened in December? No. Seize people their salary. There's a quiet revolution happening in Sierra Leone. Sometimes I know you know.
What? Because
we just quietly send letters to Accountant General and say, Accountant General, they did not declare the assets, seize their salary. The kind of chaos will be there. People that will run, helter skelter. As I speak with you, I tell you, say nearly 96% of Sierra Leoneans in the previous declaration round don't declare their assets. That record is not everywhere in the world. That record only exists even in America for asset declaration. So at the end of the day, we can look at ourselves and say it is successful. It may not be 100%, but at least we are getting there. A new declaration year has started. When people do not declare their assets, remember I said we amend the law in 2019.
Yeah.
And we put and say, one, we can seize your salary. If you continue not to declare your assets, we recommend for me then dismiss, then suspend you from office. After 6 months, we not declare. Even when they don't seize your salary, they don't suspend you. We ask that you be removed from office. We do all of it.
All right. The Minister of Finance, tell me about their own case. What's going to happen? The people at the Minister of Finance.
No, the people at the Minister of Finance will not recover fully. The total money will recover, including the 4.3 billion euros will recover in cash. The amount in their accounts, we amounts total to about 6-point-something billion euros. We don't recover first of all, as a condition for them bail. Since we arrest them sometime in December, not today they don't get bail finally.
Okay.
Okay.
Why didn't get in the bill?
We get in the bill because we don't recover fully the money.
Okay.
And
all the money?
All. 100%.
Cash?
Cash. You don't see the picture of the DJ base?
No, I see wait a minute, I ask, who side them keep them on the way, on all and bring all them on them pay?
Some of them sell their oats.
Okay.
Some of them go sell their oats in distress. Because from where they hold them, I say, they not sell that to you. But now they go home if we not carry that money there. Some don't sell it, some don't pull it, spawn it. Some of the family members, they don't go lend money somewhere. The lawyers, them, in fact, some lawyer can't tell me, say, then lend the 100 million euros of pay. Now, I make be ask me who said they pull the money. I know where they get some of this money. Because sometimes when this conversation, alone people, they just feel say the money is done somewhere and then go take out. People that way they engage in corruption, trust me, they don't keep money that way.
Okay.
Then they fire.
So
December, then they go reach, now they buy there and say, serve the house. But hold them now. It's serious distress on their families to come up with this money. And I find pleasure in this because now that's exactly what I want. When you go to your own father-in-law and go tell father-in-law, I thief money in ACC, father-in-law, do you lend me 100 million euros to go pay in ACC? When you go through that ordeal day, sometimes it is worse than a prison. And that is why we not underestimate the power of this recovery what they do.
Okay. I read a post, Lahai Mara say, Mr. ACC Commissioner done some PRO telling MDAs how to escape corruption. You can employ your wife, just rescue yourself from the process. You can steal government money, just make sure your documents are proper. If the EC around Omar Parantarali are not taken seriously, I'm sorry to state, corruption will be legal in Sierra Leone. The legislation of corruption starts with Paran Omar Traoré. What do you think about this?
With all due respect to Honorable Mara as a parliamentarian, putting out that particular post on social media, I'm very disappointed in him.
Okay.
He sounds very ignorant. Because conflict of interest, now a straightforward issue of law. Don't put yourself in a position whereby you can take a decision that will conflict with your conscience because of how close you are
to that person,
to the object of that decision. Okay? No law, no, the late Honorable Mara show we one law in Sierra Leone will say you cannot employ your wife. Let's show we one law will say you cannot do business. Let's say me a minister now. I get a company where they supply then drinks there in a salon.
Yeah.
No law not talk say the ministry can't buy these drinks from my business. But the law says at that time when they are taking that decision, who side for buy drink? And for declare in writing say Sierra Juice, me Minister Ben Kaifalah, I get 60% shares in that company. Then I also talk say because of that 60% shares we are getting in that company day, another day who say when they decide this thing, and they wash my hands clean.
Okay.
But if una now we left, decide say despite that mean statement to una consider it can be say, let's say you want one grain consultant surgeon at Komon-Tok Hospital and the head of Komon-Tok Hospital in West. Now the only qualified consultant surgeon from Russia. You go talk say enough for work na Komon-Tok Hospital at all, so Komon-Tok Hospital for day without a consultant surgeon. But when they take that decision, they as long as that head of that office they don't make it clear to the body responsible for that recruitment and remove himself from that process so that they can look at them fairly and decide say in Sierra Leone this is the only consultant surgeon we have. Therefore, Mrs. Kaifalah can work even though Mr. Kaifalah is the head. It can happen. It's happening everywhere in the world.
Even if in regulation.
I like my brother or my sister, as long as you follow this process, so I don't tell you, it is allowed.
You don't think so maybe other people go look say, look, just bring a wife or Brian wife so that then you go able to do the supply, which is also a conflict of interest. The relationship.
The ideal situation is that everybody for avoid this. Because it is not be happen to this gentleman when I be the head of NRA. She say,
okay.
There was a gentleman who was head of NRA in the days of Ernest by Kroma. Now, him make them be charged him to court. Because his wife did business with NRA. But why they caught me freer? Because when they do the procurement, he wrote to say, this is my wife who is involved in this procurement, and they go ahead and do it anyway. But look at the consequences to him. He stood trial for nearly 2 years. By the time they take that decision, he was eventually not found guilty. But he has already gone through that humiliation. Why do you want to put yourself through that? Just avoid it, man.
Okay.
Take your wife somewhere else. Find a way for her to get jobs somewhere else.
Exactly.
Except in the extreme situation like I talk, we not get no other consultant surgeon in Sierra Leone, cardiologist in Sierra Leone, and my wife is the only consultant cardiologist in Sierra Leone. Then it is justified for you to say she can work here. But I am telling every Sierra Leonean, avoid it. Don't bring your brother to your office. Don't bring your wife to your office. Don't bring your sister to your office. Don't bring any close family member to your office. It is likely to lead to problems.
Like what happens to Paran?
Look at Paran now. I can tell you, say Paran is very remorseful about this. He went to my office crying. He regrets it. But it could have all been avoided had it not happened in the first place. Look at now, everything will not happen. Let's even assume, say, like how people in the talk say there is impunity, nothing will happen to him. Do you really think nothing has happened to Paran already?
A lot have happened to him character also. Yeah.
That is what we call in economics cost. Cost is not always about consequences. That cost on you, you go to church in the morning.
Really?
People are looking at you. You go to mosque or go pray. Looking so people there.
Even within the office now, safe.
Even inside your office, you the light.
Yeah.
You understand? It's very costly.
Yeah.
So when people they get a conversation, they always look at them, just like they tell you, but this money will recover. So, they say they recover the money, then nothing will happen. You think really nothing will happen? When it has gone all over social media, your face is everywhere that you stole money in a particular office, you have been in prison for 15 days and you are released back in society. Trust me, a lot has.
So, now keep them for 15 days?
Yeah, they were in custody for 15 days.
At the CID or where?
CID.
Okay. Again, let's go back some of your achievement there. What do you think, say, because see, they say from 131 to 110, we count about 20 places. How did they happen?
So go, well, in the year, that is actually going up, but it sounds like it's going down. It's the way how it's scaling down. But it's an improvement.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, not because of all the strategies they put in place. The team at the ACC is very hardworking. Then they give them very best for make sure say the country moves forward. But not just the work of the ACC. It's also about the government, the Ministry of Finance, the Public Procurement Authority, the reforms that will not take place in different MDAs. Them we don't help reduce the corruption prevalence in the country. Now, in the one day when I experts on corruption, like Afro Barometer, say corruption prevalence don't reduce from 70% to 40%. That means that before in 2017, 15 to 17, there was 70% corruption, but now it's about 40%. So there's a drop in the general. So basically, just like President BOB, the same way become president, it will not be business as usual. It's no longer business as usual. If it were really business as usual, from where Salon don't get independence, from where Salon don't get independent, from where you, Mama Joshua, say 1961, after that, then you born.
Of course.
Within this country. When you don't see that somebody thief even 500 million euros, it counter back. Now this country. Most times above case. Then go do COI, then go do all kind of inquiry, then go up.
So which strategy you want to use for them money when they come out? Which strategy?
Kill dog before dog, let dog know say die day. Whether man they don't in jail for 15 days, and I don't already say if that money did not come out, you go home. Well, the money they come out.
Okay.
It's just plain simple.
All right. Before now, we get anti-corruption, talk about the preventive measures sometime. Maybe go into MDAs and then, train how we're able to prevent corruption. How do I do that?
Yeah, then they do within the cost systems and processes review, then they check within that happen inside their ministries. Then they identify what they call corruption risk assessment. So corruption risk assessment, they identify few things. One, that they identify concentration of power, what they call monopoly. You get for dismantle them.
Okay.
If one person they in charge of decision making, it bad pass if not 5 people that they decide. Because it is more difficult for 5 people to be corrupted than for one person to be corrupted. So you dismantle monopolies. You also identify incentives for corruption. So maybe the way how they do the payment system, maybe in a cash payment system. You identify say no, this is an incentive for corruption. If that man need to load money in a bag every day, carry and go in a bank, impossible say go thief am. You go pull some para. So let them pay in a bank, they can receipt to them. So you identify the incentives of corruption, you move on. You identify the means. Is it easy for him to do it? You try to make it difficult for him to do it. So you also dismantle the means. You understand? So monopoly, incentives, means. Then you also identify pressure points. What are the pressure points that can make people to be corrupt in this office? Is their salary too low? If the salary is too low, definitely there is strong incentive for them to be corrupt. So you also try for dismantle that pressure point by recommending those who can and talk, say, this man is finance director. You cannot continue paying him 1.3 million euros when he's dealing with 5 billion euros a day. Increase his salary so that he will live a life of dignity.
Okay.
So that is the kind of things that prevention can do for dismantle corruption in the public sector.
All right. Second, I don't know, but I believe, say, like you say, in a salon person, and if you go to Wataki, for example, say, this no hide. Sat inside and before them process documents, people ask you for pay money. If you not pay, maybe then go delay you and all that stuff. How the anti-corruption for see down there?
Very bad, terrible.
Again,
all barriers to trade.
Of course.
Then they create a disincentive for many people to invest in the country. But most of that thing the way they happen are administrative lapses. The one there where they don't give responsibility. How they do their job properly. Because if you supervise well, and when you supervise well, you hold people accountable, like how within anti-corruption commission. So, I don't make say everybody where they can at ACC, don't interview you, don't go through a rigorous process, you don't do background check. You sign one oath, they give you that you not go engage in corruption, you not go liquid information, you not go transfer information, and you go behave professionally. Go to ACC and ask them. If anybody steps out of line, may not even believe in a big sir. I don't care about your children. I don't care whether your mother is dying. I don't care whether you are sick, whether you get only 2 months left for retire. I dismiss you immediately. But also, when you delegate, you supervise. The mother of all delegation is follow up. If you give somebody in a salon, say, I want to let you put water inside this bottle in 1 hour. 30 minutes into that job, you call her and ask her, say, you don't put water in that bottle? Just to make sure, say, by the time they get to 1 hour, because if even you don't do other things, you go remember and put water so that in 1 hour the water is ready. But most times when people then give responsibilities sincerely on to people, they just leave them to do whatever they want. and nothing is done.
So follow up.
It's a problem of supervision. It's a problem of leadership. It's a problem of management. Most of them in the way they see in Auditor General's report, so more than 80% of them not supposed to do it if people who are put in leadership positions do their job properly.
Okay. Talking about the Auditor General in report, you served on the before now, don't they see the report, then they go to Parliament where a lot of corruption they inside it. I mean, what's in the SEC because don't see a lot of the reports and the Parliament they looking into them. I mean, years back, and this one don't come recently, and we find out say every year it increase, every year it increase.
You see, Auditor General's report is a complex thing because it cover not just corruption, but sometimes lapses. It can be say sometimes they go document not the possible way they provide the document sick, they around, they don't travel on some kind training at China. They can in 3 months and the auditors are not capable to see documents. They put out they say the money is lost. So what we can do when these things come out, this is why we don't come out, so they identify the ones that will direct corruption, will need immediate action. The one that will have systems review or processes problem, we recommend them for preventive action. The one that will have administrative action. For example, one HR officer will not provide a list of staff that the audit report talks say go staff that in at this institution. When in fact they are staff, but the HR director just did not provide the list to the auditors. Or they can't do verification in the morning. If assets then you say you buy then cameras there. Auditors they come say, okay, show me the asset them. The day when they come for can't show the asset them, they say when Mr. John Blah they respond. They say Mr. John Blah don't go campaign. The auditors they put us say the cameras have been stolen.
Okay.
We able to see them once we see them because we are experts in these issues. We identify them, and sometimes quickly we can go to the institution and say, "When I go show you the camera them." They show we take them off the record because the cameras are actually there, and we try for tell the person where they in charge say, take against administrative action against Mr. John Blah. He was reckless. Auditors were here. He did not take them seriously. He has no business in this office. But just like how they tell you, we do not have control over that institution. We can recommend. So it led now to the head of that institution for sack Mr. John Blah. But most people are weak to do that. They do not have backbone. Or more generally, they are incompetent. Because if me, they did in an office, even at SEC where auditors, they can go there, they call the finance director, I call the audit director and tell them, before the auditors, then tell them, say, if you have any problems, speak to these people. If there are any challenge, come to me directly or speak to the deputy commissioner or other people.
Yeah.
But if, for example, auditors, they go to SEC and they want to see a chair that we bought, which I know we bought, and later Auditor General's report come on and the auditors put that and say they're going to SEC and not see the chair. And I find out about why is this in the Auditor General's report? We clearly bought the chair is there. Then they say one staff no agree, go show the auditors the staff. Why is that staff going to stay in my office? Why?
Second.
Or otherwise, why are not for suspend that for 3 months without salary? So until as a country we are ready to have the backbone to do what has to be done. If they call you Director General, you actually do what a Director General should do. Not to just the title for the pass around in a big car.
Yeah.
But you do what a director. If you're a minister, you do what a minister should do. Until we are ready to do that, trust me, every year we Auditor General's report come on, we'll be having these problems. Most of them, I am telling you, DJ Base, if you have time, you can at ACC, I sit down with you. Most of those things in that Auditor General's report are administrative failure. Not really because somebody stole anything.
So what about the parts where you tip the money? Kind side?
Oh, yeah. But you can see that's the realized report we put out. We have charged people to court because of Auditor General's report. We have recovered billions of money out of claims of Auditor General's report. If you go right now on the Anti-Corruption Commission website, you will see press releases or recoveries that have done based on Auditor General's report. So we take action.
Okay.
And people are starting trial in court because of Auditor General's report. So it's not like we do not take action, but I'm just saying that 80% of it is administrative.
All right. Again, no, just they can watch a video. Say we see you go get a lot of money today, but before that, the ACC can penetrate at the provinces or only Freetown?
No. We get offices in every major regional office, every provincial headquarter.
Yeah.
We get in Bo, Kenema, Makeni, Kono, and Port Loko. And then they do the exact same work where the headquarters office they do in Freetown and generally in Sierra Leone. So we get ACC.
Which cases then they don't bring up so far?
Most of the cases, if you go to McKinney now, there are trials going on. Like Combos is in trial in McKinney. It's a matter that took place in Port Loko. Okay. If you go to Kono, there are chiefs standing trial in Kono. It's a matter that happened in Kono. In Kenema, recently said we just don't file indictment in Kenema for some kind of corruption what happened at the Eastern Technical University, where the registrar be embezzled some money. So basically, it's almost the same.
Okay.
We just don't decentralize the fight against corruption.
All right. Recently, we also see the ACC pool release of people who want to say run away. Tell her about that.
Yes, I know. That NRA matter, the kingpin in that matter, once Salim Mansare, will be the work at EcoBank.
Yeah.
After stealing about 4.5 billion euros, we're supposed to go to NRA. By the time he knows the information don't come out, then the driver was snoop around. He went through Guinea, and he's now in Dubai. Another matter they will investigate. Another payment we're supposed to go NRA. One banker with the work now UBA. One Frederick Colker. If you don't already get green card, you don't send your family in America. By the time the bank, because now UBA and the system discover this fraud and they bring a car to your attention.
Okay.
But as he knows that they can check for him, he just go home that day. Don't run away. Gone to America.
So how close una be with other people, the Interpol and other people able to bring them people in the back? Or
Yeah, we work on that right now. But the first step is this one. You put out a wanted notice so that the public know and he cannot be found. So you can able to swear to an affidavit before a judge for issue a warrant. Then you can now supply that warrant to Interpol and see how for bring the person back.
All right.
So
okay. All right. So we're going to take a look at this video quickly, then we'll come back. Stay tuned. This we see happen today inside the press conference. No, just listen and watch quickly. We'll come back.
Over 45 billion euros was siphoned through a bank. The key person in that investigation, we have already put out the wanted notice for him. His name was Salim Mansare. He was the one who engineered everything to take out the money and distribute it among themselves. Sadly, Salim Mansare has run away and has gone to Dubai. So we are trying to take steps to get him, but in the meantime, other people who are here who were involved in that investigation, we are taking steps to ensure that they are held fully accountable. Even the Salim Mansare, we are going to try in absentia if needed. There's another case at the ministry at one of our projects, which again another banker by the name of Frederick Colker worked with some people to take out 1.6 billion euros out of the banking system. This money was meant to go to NRA. That investigation is also going on, but in the meantime, Frederick Colker had taken his family to America, came back to Sierra Leone, created this scheme to steal the money, and the moment the bank found out that something was wrong, he simply bought his plane ticket and he has gone quietly to the US to live with his family ever happily. Why the children of Sierra Leone suffer and die because they I don't know how such a man is going to lie down in his bed in America and watch his children grow. Why this country remains as it is. But what I can tell you is that Frederick Colker, positively we are sure, has left the shores of Sierra Leone and gone to America. But let his conscience be with him. And those who are his family members, let them know that this is what Frederick Colker did to Sierra Leone before he went to America. Now to the case before us. The Ministry of Finance, I must say, is being run by people at the moment who I believe want the good of this country. So the minister and Masudingi, who is the financial secretary, very professionally brought to our attention that some payment which was supposed to be sent to a firm, an accounting firm, had been intercepted by some people, and they withdrew the money which was supposed to go to an account at Brookell Commercial Bank in Sierra Leone in Freetown. They sent the money to Kaifalah Community Bank and they withdrew it. They did their own investigations very professionally. When I say they, I mean the Ministry of Finance. And they forwarded the report to us. Based on that report, we moved very swiftly. In less than 2 hours, we arrested everybody concerned. Starting with the ringleader who was a certain Emmanuel Smart. And then we arrested a few other people at the Ministry of Finance who are mostly Accountant General's Department. And they were brought to the commission. So we looked at the situation just like we did with the Parantarali and his wife Saga. My deputy and I conferred, and we agreed that the best thing to do is to tell them firstly. And I want people to understand this. When we say people should pay back money, we are not saying that no consequence should follow. But our primary responsibility is to protect the resources of the people of Nigeria. So once they were in custody, we gave the condition that if you want to go home to your families, you have to bring back all that money that you stole. And this is money that was stolen since last year, August, coming on to December. They first created a suspense account where they sent this money in. Later, the gentleman as SLRA went and opened a bank account. He's the finance director. The deputy accounting officer. He went and even created a company account with his name and face, with card and everything for this money to go in that account. And he went and withdrew it. And after he withdrew it, we have the records of how he distributed it. In Christmas, just before Christmas Day alone, when many Sierra Leoneans were thinking about what to eat, these people distributed among themselves 2.3 billion euros. They will give this one 500 million. They will give this one 400 million. They will give this one 100 million. We have the template of how they did it. And they went to their home and enjoyed very lofty Christmas chicken. We saw the bars at Aberdeen Beach were also very comfortable during those Christmas days. These are the kinds of people who go and say, serve the house, serve the house, serve the house. When the majority of the Sierra Leoneans are thinking about where to get a meal. I am not concerned about people who work hard and make money and live a good life. I myself love a good life. I want to live in a decent home. I want my children to live decently and have food. I want to drive the best car I can afford. I want to live a good life, and I want that for everybody. And I know I am a capitalist by thinking. I am a capitalist. I know that laziness should not be rewarded, and I am very happy for the lazy man to suffer. And I am very happy for the hard-working man or woman to be rewarded. At no point in my life have I been sorry for myself that I grew up poor. The only thing I wanted to do was to work hard to get out of it. By honesty, working with other people, and helping other people grow along the way. So, we are not against people enjoying Christmas chicken while some people don't have chicken. But let us create opportunities for everybody to be able to afford chicken as a basic Christmas gift. And then we all can enjoy our chickens and be fine. But when some people are stealing 4.3 billion euros by themselves and eating it among themselves, it's a problem. And therefore, this money you see here today, all of it, every penny of it, is, and some of it is back here, by the way. Those are back boxes. Every one of those boxes is 1 billion euros. Yes. So, what you see here and what you see back there, and we even have another 1.8 billion euros in the account, not so? Another 1.8 billion euros in an account. All of it we have recovered from these people. Totaling 8.4 billion euros. Imagine people stole 8.4 billion euros from Sierra Leone. If you don't want to cry, I want to cry. 8.4 billion euros. Don't you feel like crying?
Painful.
The good news is, if even you don't think that things are happening in Sierra Leone, but I know, because we are all now adults here. We have lived in this country for years, not so?
Yeah.
There has never been a time when somebody has stolen even 1 billion euros from this country and paid it back. Is there anybody here who wants to remind me of a time? But today, consistently, we have been bringing back money stolen from the public, including what you see here. 8.4 billion euros. We have recovered every penny of it from them in less than 2 weeks for the people of Sierra Leone. It's the beginning of change, and I am very grateful to my team, from the Deputy Commissioner, the directors you see here, the staff of the commission. I can assure you, when you see these things on this table here, you will think that is an easy thing. You will think it's so easy. But trust me, people have been in this office, sometimes they nearly sleep in this office, working on this file. Because first of all, for you to get people to pay, you have to establish the case against them so badly that they cannot run away. They themselves know that I am finished if I don't bring this money. And that does not happen by you just calling them to the office and say, you, that money will go to your account. You have to work hard to dig it. And you present them with the uncontrovertible evidence. And sometimes to go after the resources where they are. Freezing accounts here and there, identifying where they are hiding the money, doing what is this, even arresting them sometimes. Our staff stay at their houses waiting for them. The intelligence, they will stand at that house observing that door when this man is going to enter this place. And the Scorpion squad is standing by, and when the man enters, the staff who has been standing there for 10 hours at 5 a.m. in the morning says the man has now come. You people can come. I will go and arrest them at 5 a.m. in the morning. It's not easy. And I have to sometimes give those directives to my staff to tell them, you have to stay there from 10 p.m. at night to 5 a.m. in the morning. And if you think that salaries are poor in the country and you think that the ACC is an exception, then think again. But it's a sacrifice that all of them are doing. And I am very grateful to everybody at the ACC, particularly the team of investigators, headed by this very hardworking woman. Please stand up, let them see you. It's a lady. Please clap for her. Madam Evelyn Kuyate has been leading this team for years, and she has tried to instill professionalism in them, trying to guide and direct them, because don't make no mistake, we are dealing with us. We are also Liberians, we understand ourselves. It's not easy to keep them in line. But under her leadership as Director of Investigations, she has been able to show that a woman can deliver. And we are very grateful to her. I must also thank my dear Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Augustine Gobi, who you all know, the commander, not so? Even when I have been away, but even when I'm here, he is basically the one running the show, making sure that the office continues to run so well, and we are able to do these amazing things for the country. And I also want to thank the people of Sierra Leone. I know it's not easy for you. Like I started by saying, you have been traumatized. But I want to assure you that we are doing our very best for this country. We do not come here in the morning like I have.
All right, welcome back. And I think congratulations, Mr. ACC, because I see you get emotional so much that you won't cry. Why?
Well, to be honest with you, DJ Base, you know, say I studied in Harvard, right?
Yeah.
And I just came back to the country on Sunday night.
Okay.
Sunday night. I was taken from Sea Coach at 2 a.m. at night because I came with Turkish Airways.
Okay.
Being driven to my house in Godrich. Pitch black darkness everywhere. I felt sad. I felt so bad. This is a country that I love so much. When are they out there? Everybody knows about Sierra Leone. Now the Harvard Law School, when you talk about Sierra Leone, I present it as the place where just everybody should come. And they love hearing the stories that we tell. But I come back, the basics that the world have forgotten. It's not there. There's no light. And then people can steal 8.1 billion, 6 people, and share it among themselves. Is that not worth crying for?
So within 6 people in there?
We just not today. They don't in a prison since we arrest them sometime in December. Some don't in prison for more than 15 days. Today we don't finally give them bail, and we consider now the lawyers and they look into the issue for charge them to court. So they don't get bail. I left now ACC now then they process them bail.
Okay.
And these are young people, very young people. How could they do this to themselves? Only they know.
So, like you mentioned, which strategy they use? Like you mentioned, well, the woman who didn't deal with the investigation. I mean, they are at the top. Which strategy you use for able to get all this money back? Physically
we froze their accounts.
Okay.
So we knew how much they had in the various accounts. We also tell them, say, look, my friend, this is straightforward. The evidence is here. You want your freedom, bring the money. If not, I am going to put a bail condition that you will not satisfy. And they know. Even when they pulled in a prison today, they came to my office, we sat down together and we had a conversation about this. They know that it's a case.
Why don't tell you the reason why they didn't give that money there?
All they can be saying is that we are sorry, sir. We don't learn with lesson. But what do you mean by you don't learn with lesson?
Exactly.
What do you mean? I can't understand this.
So this just means more if the ACC get more strength, we're going to recover more money.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I mean, improve on stopping corruption, I believe.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned.
Already we don't do a lot. Look at the indexes. MCC control of corruption, they fail at 49% in 2017. 6 years in a row since I was appointed commissioner and President Bill was elected president, we have won by more than 70% every year with the little resources we have. And sometimes when people can come over there, IMF, FBI, when they can't talk to me, the first thing I remind them that don't make any mistake and think that we are the IMF. The money I use to run the ACC is the money that is spent on one unit in the FBI.
Okay.
We don't even have the resources. Sometimes for buy one laptop right now, we prosecute on a McKinney, where comes to now the request on the table in one laptop, money not there for buy. But we are trying to make do with what we have.
This Avati stuff we come recently, is it part of a mandate, this corruption and say people and put money away?
No. FIU, they mandate down there with the Bank of Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Not to ACC mandate that one day. We not deal generally with fraud.
Okay.
Now there and the police, and they get that responsibility there, and I believe say they have already taken action.
All right. One big Nigerian tycoon video be area about being for Cambile States will be no say ACC be one. So now the
himself will be arrested him. He was in detention. We investigate the matter, but because we find out in a general fraud, not to corruption, we again hand over to the police with all the file.
Okay.
So now the police they also handle that matter.
All right. He's still in the country.
I don't know. He was handed over to the police. We don't done with that issue there. We don't hand over everything to the police.
Okay. We'll come round up quickly. But again, I don't know which lens you're able to look this. We don't see police and they take advantage. I know if that's what they call them. And I be they read a piece on social media where somebody say, if we're able to tap corruption in Africa, let's go take Sierra Leone as an example. If we're able to tap corruption as alone, get all the money with certain people, the thief. They need no good if they ask the IMF and other people for money. Which thing you take on?
Me, I believe say if we really fight corruption the way how we supposed for. In terms of the laws, the proper laws that we parliament pass, then we as a people really decide. Because you see, fighting corruption, we can do everything we can do in our ACC, but the buck stops with the people themselves. That decision say, as a country, we are changing. We reorient ourselves for the better. And things that happen, we manage ourselves very well. The leaders then do what they're supposed to do. The people then do what they're supposed to do. We try to harness and manage resources very well. We don't get no reason for me anybody can tell we anything. We not get no reason for beg anybody for anything. Okay, able to fence Sierra Leone. It's a very small country.
So what you need for
we
that?
able to fence some border to border. We able to make sure say people that will not get job, we they give them money per week. We able to make sure say we feed with people that when they go school because the parents they know they able to give them money. We able to make sure say housing day for public servants them so much so that they not get too much pressure when they retire. They not get place for sleep. We able to make sure say every citizen get a decent wage. And if we do that, the whole world will rush for invest inside Sierra Leone and do business with we will gain respectability.
What you need for do that for later they happen?
All we need to do is to get our act together. There is nobody coming. I can tell you this. All these things we talk about MCC, EU, all these things is painful to some of us.
All right.
Because this country was created blessed. This is a country where you throw seed at the back of your house, it will grow. I am an example. Go visit the house. There are trees and plants everywhere. Some of them have mango where I just eat a throw and over the window. I see where it grow there. They go pull and go plant at some side because I under one time. Why can't we feed ourselves? I am telling you, it all comes down to two things: leadership and peopleship. The people become responsible leaders in their own rights, and the leaders do what has to be done to change the story of this country. And I am complicit because anyhow you look at them, I'm also part of a leader. All we need for do now for make sure say we get that elite bargain among ourselves for agree on certain things. And we conscientiously take action for the country. First of all, telling ourselves that nobody is coming. And I can tell you, nobody is coming. All this is a joke. It's a joke. Nobody is coming. We have to be more serious with our destiny than we are.
You still, I will ask you this question. You still get the free hand for the job where politically people know look say they pick they were because they're not the party, and this party pick you?
If really that were the case, we would talk about Jaya Kaikai, who is under investigation, who's a strong party man. We would talk about Parantarali, who is a strong party man who is under investigation. We would talk about all them people that who are arrested on our ministry and SLRA, who are returning money, who are under investigation. We would talk about other people that would stand trial. The Paul Masako is of SLMA, it's Rafi Damendo of SLMA. We would talk about all those people who are charged to court, who are standing trial. DJ Base, you see how this country are they? People them they create a story, we're not true. They repeat it over and over for a long time. So much so that they themselves believe them, and the people that they listen to them believe them. It's a country that is built on dishonesty. Firstly, with lack of honesty to self. And then you apply it to another person. Can you look at all what is happening in this country and say that the only thing with ACC they do, we don't make with the consistently pass MCC scorecard for 6 years in a row. For corruption prevalence for reduce from 70% to 40%. For Transparency International for say Salon don't jump from 131 to 110. Now because Ben Kaifalah just can't no more, they pick and choose who that for run after. It's a dishonest position, and it is built, propagated, and created by people who do not mean well for this country. And then they rely on the fact that the country get about 75% illiterate population, and they can listen to anything, they are gullible. And Francis Ben Kaifalah is too busy to always respond to them. That is the story of Sierra Leone.
All right. Maybe finally, like I would ask again, the police are one strong institution who believe say, well, I don't want to say for be corrupt free really, because if you look other side, yes, you get one or two hitches, but again, we don't see, or you must know a real side. I mean, drivers, and they say we get for booking a certain side. If you look, the allegations with drivers, then they make about bookings a different side. I believe, say, if you collect some money there as a whole for the day, that's amounts of billions of leons.
It's a lot of money.
What's in the ACC do for able? I mean, if
we
not,
raid them. You know, don't see raids where we raid police.
But for a long time, we don't see that. But you see, still they happen.
It's a question of leadership.
From which part? The police?
The police.
Part? Okay.
The police is supposed to be a disciplined institution.
You're right. You don't bring
regimental.
The general of police.
Regimental. Okay? It's a kidder. From Inspector General of Police to Deputy Inspector General of Police to Assistant Inspector General of Police to Commissioners of Police to all kinds of
and whatever. Yeah.
Do you really think that the ACC should run after these people to be disciplined?
Well, again, maybe if the ACC come with the top cadre of the police and bring up the issue so that then they go sink down.
Would they do? For example, the Inspector General of Police is a very disciplined man. Okay? Fire Selu. Everybody who don't know Fire Selu over the years knows say he's a disciplined officer. But he's alone. He's alone. He cannot be everywhere.
So in order to subordinate the enable help, huh?
I think there is gross failure of leadership within the rank and file of the police system where they facilitated things there. In fact, if you talk to real police officers, then they tell you, say, okay, collect them money there, what you they do? They go meet them with boss, they go give them. You know that they transfer, we go apply.
Exactly.
Or you where they raise issues. You understand? Then they send you other side. Or then demote you. Or then give you trouble. I mean, that is the failure of leadership, my brother.
On the side of the police.
I mean, should we be having this conversation about an institution that is supposed to be the epitome of discipline?
You're right.
It's just that they can't tell you, say, this they happen inside the military. Will you not feel disappointed? Because if anywhere they were supposed to get discipline, now the police and the military.
Okay.
And so far, we are not having problems with the military. But that's because the military do not interface too much with the people.
With the public.
So you don't know what is happening there.
Exactly.
But the police, they get the one where they go to police station all the time for report the issues. Some of them, I get my own family members the way they go to police and go report issue. The police officer, if they don't get transport, they go. Some they ask them for my fuel.
You're right.
Drivers, then they when they ask for money. Me sometimes they can drive, they don't know. Because most times I can drive myself.
You're right.
Then they stop. Now only way they're hoping this me here, they give away. Hey, sir, how are you, sir?
You're right.
Sometimes at the sit down so somebody before me, before they, then they harass her for money. It's a failure of, let me tell you this, I am telling you this. The problem of Sierra Leone is two things.
Leadership.
Leadership and supervision.
You're right.
But if the leader, you then a public office, they go sit down with you, somebody there when they shave money. Hey, when I don't go today, yes, they say, look, you owe 20 million, you hold up. Like, I didn't ACC, so as anti-corruption commissioner. Now, I want to introduce you on that television, Evelyn Kuyate, the director of prosecution. I go send and say, Evelyn, go to this mine, they give you 100 million for me. A car with time for me. I say, Evelyn, look, you owe 20 million. I have lost my respect. I have lost my ability to run the ACC. I'm not going to get myself for look there, something that they do.
Right. Okay.
So, we have to say this, and I'm saying it. The problem of Sierra Leone is leadership and management. People, they abdicate responsibility, some are tied to no more you want.
True.
And therefore, we are ready to hold them accountable and to remind them of the responsibility. It's not just to hold a big office where you are paid a fat salary and you drive a nice car. Do your job, man. Do your job.
All right. Maybe finally, you don't think, say, I mean, you don't be, maybe people don't get you corrupted by giving you a gift to advantage and be knowing to you, in other words, say, take this, so at least we just like you, we appreciate you?
No.
All right.
I'm a man way content.
Okay.
I'm very content with what I get. So on day, I remember some people that one woman go to me one day, they go beg me for a husband. So I see hold this. Come, he said, oh, the observer. He come meet me, my man get case, I want to let you help him, blah, blah, blah. I say, okay. Says not to foresee that kind of case. I say, well, I go back now office, I go look. Look into him.
Okay.
And where they left